Hey, Tepid Coder here. In this video, I wanted to go over a couple of, what should I say, functions that come with C++. So, if you use the headers like, vector, right? You're going to get something like standard vector type T, right? And it comes with methods like erase and insert and pushback, dot dot, right? But there's also common operations you can do on these containers, and you'll find them in a header called algorithm. Okay. So I want to show a bunch of things from here, right? That's kind of the point of the video, to show some things from here. In this video, I want to show standard find, and I want to show standard set symmetric difference. So I'm planning on going through a bunch of these. Anyway, I'd mentioned a good reason to use recursion in a previous video being to iterate through directories, and how C++ made it so that you can do that easily now without having to roll it out yourself in a way that's platform specific. And what they did was they took the code from Boost basically and added that to the C standard. So that's called file system. So if it's not available for your version of C++, you can use it from Boost file system. Anyway, let's get this working. First of all, what I want to do here, before I even write new lines of code, I'm going to show some test case I made. I'm going to show LL, it's going to be search me. What? Oh, I'm in the wrong directory. Let's move test.cp to, geez, it's going to be code tepid coder. Okay, I'm going to actually just do cd, jump in that directory here. Okay, now I'm going to actually search for it again. Show search me. Okay, so in this directory I have a and b.txt, right? If I go to search me 2, I got a, c, and d.txt. So I'm going to be looking through both these directories and showing their contents. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to compare the contents of directories to see what files don't exist in both of them. And this might be kind of cool for a system where you want to be able to keep people's directories in sync. So maybe you haven't connected to the internet in a while, you log in and you find out that your directory is mismatched with someone else's, or you're both offline for a while working independently, and then you both connect and like you have stuff they don't and they have stuff you don't. This would be a good for a case like that. Also good for like patching a game or something, right? So anyway, let's actually show how to look through the directory real quick. So test it cp. How you do that first is you say standard file system, and it's going to be path. I'm just going to call it path, I don't know, starting directory. And I'm going to use the initializer list to default it and say I'm initializing it with /search me. Okay, that's going to pass to the first directory. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say iterate through that. This is so cool that you can do this. It's going to be a standard, geez, what was it? Directory iterator, I think, is what it was called. Is that right? It comes from file system directory iterator. From some path, and the path is called path starting directory. Okay, and then I'm doing an auto directory entry object. Okay. It's like a range based for loop, right? And from each thing that this returns, I'm getting a direct entry. Okay. Whew. So standard cout, I'm going to say directory entry line. And I'm actually going to say path. Okay. And over here in that quote, the line. Let's try that for now and see what happens here. So g++, some say dash, was it standard equals C++ 17, I think is what this comes from. Okay. And cout, I didn't include iostream, that's a problem, so let's do that so I can actually output the path. iostream. Okay, over here. And there you go. So I can see the contents of the path, search me. So before I get too crazy here, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to say standard vector of type standard string get directory contents Yeah, let's do that. I don't need to recurse right now, but if I did want to recurse, I could do recursive directory iterator. It'll work just the same. Maybe I'll show that real quick. I'm going to initialize it with just the current directory. Okay. Const char path. The starting path. I'm actually going to take all of this. I'm just going to stick it in that function. Okay. Standard vector, standard string, vec has what I'm going to call it equals get directory contents. I'm going to say that. Okay. Instead of this, let's go BSC path. And then I'm going to stick that into a vector. So standard vector of strings, vec paths. Okay. And then, geez, vec paths dot in place back. A little bit more typing to do here. We're gonna have to do dir entry dot path. I just want the file name because I'm gonna compare the files of those directories later. It's file name. And I need to convert that into an actual string. I'm gonna say generic string. Okay, and I need to return the vector. Return vec paths. Okay. Instead of actually printing this out here, do I want to do that? Yeah, I'm gonna print it out here for now. Let's do that. Okay. Okay. Now you can see it's recursively looking through directories. So it steps into like, let's go to the top here. It steps into static directory loader from this directory, and then inside of that, it sees that there's a new directory called VS. So it steps into that, and it sees a new directory inside of that called static library one loader. And there's a directory inside of that called file content index. One in that called this huge hash, you know, whatever. I guess it's not a directory, it's a file. So it sees that inside that directory. And inside the same directory, it sees this file. Okay, now it's done with that folder. It ran out of content. So it goes back to the one before it, which was this one, library loader. So now it sees a new directory called V17. So it goes into that, and it sees this file, and this file, and this file. Then it drops back down to the directory before that, which is over here again. Here we are. Okay. And inside of that, it sees main CP and all these files. So it's recursing, and it keeps dropping all the way in, and then back up, out, then in, and back up, out. Okay. So you can do that. And all I had to do to make that work was, instead of directory iterator, I did recursive directory iterator. So, anyway, let's just stick to the paths that I want. So, I drop us onto the next line here. Okay, and what I want to use is this. We'll put this at the end. Okay, now I'm going to make two of these. The other one I want to make is going to be called vecpaths2, and it's going to be search me 2. Let's get rid of those. I don't want that. Okay, so what I want to do is look at the files that are different between the two directories, and only have a vector filled with those. So I'm going to say vector standard string. I'm going to say vec. What do I say? I want to say unique files. That's not quite right. That is right though. Yeah, unique. Also unique files. Because if it exists in one directory, not the other, it's unique. There's only one instance. But if it exists in both directories, it's not unique. So we don't want it. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to say standard set symmetric difference, which will get all elements that exist in one set and not the other. Okay, so vec paths 1 dot begin. We're going to start searching through. Oops. Okay. This is going to be 2, 2. This is going to be end now. End. Okay, and then standard back inserter. We're inserting it into vec of unique paths, not files. Oops. Well, it is files actually. Yeah. Files. Okay. So we're searching the entire range of this vector, all of its elements. So we're searching all the vectors elements of this range. It could be that we want to look for differences just within some range of each vector. We could do that as well. That's why it's set up this way instead of just passing paths 1 and paths 2. But this is just how you have to do it. They made it more, what do I say, generic. So you can do more with it. But it means you have to type more. That's the drawback. Okay, anyway, now we have this unique files vector filled. Let's actually iterate through that and show it. So I'm going to say for const auto, and it's going to be, I'll say stir file name. Okay, we're going to say standard cout, and we're going to say unique file. I'm going to start going back to \n pretty soon. People have seen standard inline enough. I don't need to be completely automatic with my C++. Okay, so for now I'm going to show the whole list of unique files. Let's do that. Okay. So I messed up something here. So on line 26, I didn't like that. Oh, jeez. That would do it, wouldn't it? Like that, yeah. Okay. Okay, it still doesn't like it at line 26, so what did we do wrong here? Oh, I'm still doing that. Okay. Okay, line 41. Stir file path is not declared. Oh, right, it's file name. I keep thinking of it as a path. Okay. Cool. Do it. Boom. So, if you see in here, we have A and B in this directory. We have another A here. There isn't another B though, so B is unique. And then C didn't exist up here, that's unique. D didn't exist up here, that's unique. So we have B, C, and D, just like we expected. But now you might want to know, okay, I looked at my folder, I looked at my friend's folder, and we know what files are unique between them, but how do I know where they came from? So now there's another thing we can use. We can search to find out which vector doesn't contain it. So what we have here is standard find. If we use this on a vector, we can use it on vec paths1. Okay, you have to search from begin to end, so some range within that vector. So vec paths2.end, and you search it for some value. And the value I want to search for is stir file name. Okay. Now the type it returns is a standard vector of some type, iterator. Iterator. There we go. I'll call it IT. Okay, and let's actually bring this down a line, make it a little easier to read. Oh no, there we go. Cool, and the type it's going to be is the type of the vector I'm using, so standard, not vector, sorry, standard string. Now, if it doesn't find it, it's going to return the sentinel node, which you're going to find at vec paths.end, right? This is the sentinel here, the end of the vector range. So, if it equals that, then we didn't find it. But if it's something before that, then we did find it. So if it equals end, we didn't find it. Okay. If we didn't find it, then that means that is the directory that's missing it. So I'm going to say standard cout file, whatever it is, which is stir file name. Add a space after that quote. Is missing from, and I'm going to say it was search me was the first vector, right? And if that's not the case, then it must be missing from the other vector. So I'm going to do copy paste here. Otherwise, it's missing from search me too. Right, let's run that. Vec paths. Yeah, paths1, not paths. Okay. Forgot to put the 1 there. Why am I... Jeez. Okay, that would have been a problem anyway. There we go. So now I can see B is missing from search me too. So B is right here in this directory, but it's not in this one. And I can see C is missing from search me, instead of search me too. It's not in here. And so is D. It's also missing from here. So that's kind of a cool thing you can do with just some basic functions that come with C++. We can use this to basically recurse through any number of folders and find things that are different. Of course, if you want to look at things that are different and have the same relative path from the starting path, we'd have to look at the stem from that base directory. And that's a little bit more code that we have to do ourselves, but that's not that big of a deal. Anyway, I'm going to continue with a little mini-series about more of these algorithms. There's things like standard swap I want to show, and standard transform, and just a whole bunch of them. So if you found this useful, consider subscribing for more content, and if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you have any suggestions or criticisms or comments, please do leave those. I have a small volume of comments right now, so I actually do read everything. I don't expect this channel to be big at any point, but if it ever were, you know, that could be a problem at some point, I guess. But for now, I'm reading all the comments very easily. So definitely engage if you feel the desire to do so. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video and learned something from it. I'll catch you guys later. Have a good day.